Hey everybody, Kenzie here. Welcome to the Team Sizzle. It is April 8th, 9th. It's April 9th today. We have 1 week left of the fabulous Deep Blue promo, so make sure you get that quick. Just a couple other housekeeping things to go over before we jump to our call. The Mother's Day kit is going to sell out, as in like tonight, tomorrow. If you wanted one, you need to get that ASAP because it is going to sell out. Check your inbox. doTERRA did send out an email. I'm not sure what rank and higher it went to, but it does go over the new share guide. So I'll post that in the group for you as well. But doTERRA also emailed that out, so check it out. There's also another link I'm going to post that talks about, it's a new link about how to help people get on LRP. So I'll post that for you guys as well, so you can check that out and help your new members discover LRP. Tracy said also the sales guide. That's what I'm talking about. What did I call it? Did I call it something else? Sales guide. The sales guide. Share guide. Yeah, share guide, sales guide. Either way, as long as people are purchasing PV, the world will go round, right? Let's make sure they know what's going on. Other than that, I think that's all I had for you as far as updates. Oh no, one more. The Zendecrine that's out of stock will not be back in until May. They're pushing hard May, June to get it back. It did not meet quality CPTG standards, so they had to deny it. They were really pushing to have it back for us while we're talking about detox stuff. So they just suggested that we talk about detoxing maybe a little bit later in the month or into May. So sorry for all of you who are doing like clean slate, cleanse type detox stuff, but it's coming. Just hold tight. I wanted to give Dana, is she on here? Dana, do you want to shout out real quick about what you got going on and what you posted?
Sure. Thank you. So I don't know if you guys saw my post or anything, but I last year started writing just a quick little class about a journey that I went through. I was doing a Bible study series on the armor of God from the book of Ephesians. And it just kind of got me starting to think of what I can do, like doing shoes of peace. I started using peace oil on the bottoms of my feet. And being a doctor, I started thinking about that a little bit deeper as she was talking about the belt of truth when she did a quick reference to like digestive and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh girl, I'm like, there's so much more that you need to talk about than just, digestive. I mean, you've got reproductive and da-da-da. And I'm like, sitting here as a doctor going, there's so much more information. I'm like, wait a minute, I could be using like peppermint and digestin or clary sage for reproductive support or jasmine. And just all these things started going through my head. So as we were going through the series, I just kind of started using the oils in the perspective of the armor of God. So from there, I wrote a class, but I kept wanting to add more and more information. It's like, this class is getting too long. So then I started writing a book, and I have a lot of people local to me and on my team that have been asking me to teach it as a class, and they wanted me to like find a location and rent a place to teach it in person. And I'm like, couldn't find a place that was appropriate that didn't charge me like $100 an hour. So I'm like, yeah, no, this is not going to happen. And decided to do it online. So that's kind of what it is. So some of you guys probably heard my talk a while back, last fall, I think, when I did a sizzle. It's going to be some of that similar information, but just kind of breaking it down and going through it a little bit more intentionally, if anybody wants to do that. So it's just kind of out of my brokenness last year, because I had a huge personal collapse last January, and that was really what provoked my my doTERRA journey to really take off. So it was just kind of out of that. I lost my license because I didn't get my paperwork done on time. And it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, when you're a mom and doing everything for everybody, running your own business, and just all the stress and anxiety and emotions. And so it's a lot of emotions, but it's also a lot of physical. Okay. Sorry. I'll stop.
I love it. Thank you so much. I love when we can support one another and share, because cross-line wise, I mean, what an amazing thing to be able to share. So if that's something that you feel like someone on your team might speak with them, reach out or check out that post. So tonight on our sizzle, we have very special guests with us, right? It's very rare that we have 3 diamond and above leaders with us all at the same time. So I'm pretty ecstatic about this. Dave Ramsey says a quote that I really like. Justin Harrison has a spin-off version of it, but I can't remember his right now. But it's something like, if you live your life like no one else, later you can live and give like no one else. And tonight, these 3 beautiful women are going to share with us in a way that they're giving and in a way that they've tapped in with doTERRA's mission and how doTERRA partners and how they are spreading that message. So who wants to start?
I will. Okay, let's hear it. All right, you do it. Okay, so I'm going to start with kind of going through our wonderful upline, because I think there's a few people in our team that are fairly new that don't know our upline, our enroller upline. And talk a little bit about the Diamond Retreat and how you are able to mingle with our upline. I'm just going to kind of quickly go through the order of our upline. Just so all of you know, the order of the upline is in your back office. So I'm starting from me. So from me, it goes my mom, Romy Clark, and then Tony Warner, which is actually Natalie's brother's wife, and then Burke and Natalie, Karina Bracken, Boyd and Sandy, Gina Truman, Karina Bracken, Wendy James, and then Justin Harrison and Eric Larson. So this month, doTERRA is 11 years old, which is amazing. I did not realize that they turned 11 years old this month. This month is my 8-year anniversary with doTERRA. The 31st of March was my mom's 8-year anniversary. Burke and Natalie have been with doTERRA for 10 years. Karina, 10.5 years. And Gina, Boyd, and Sandy have all been, and Wendy, Justin Harrison, and Eric Larson, all 11 years. Gina Truman is actually the one that holds the Diamond Retreat. Boyd and Sandy. So Gina and Boyd are sister and brother, and they are obviously in the business together. Boyd and Sandy will be at this Diamond Retreat that we are getting ready to go to here in April, which is amazing. This is going to be my first time going to the Diamond Retreat, and Joanna and Jen's also. So we have absolutely no idea what to expect. My mom and Papa have been to it one time and did not give any details on what to expect from this Diamond Retreat. And I also learned that Allison Tripp and Haley, I'm going to totally slaughter this last name, her last name, Haley Forey, is going to be at the Diamond Retreat with us. So not only do I get to celebrate this amazing event with Jennifer and Joanna, I have 2 other amazing women on my team that are going to be there also. So I am super excited. There's going to be 5 of us rock stars at the Diamond Retreat this year. So it's just, I am like just ecstatic. So one way to be able to, that I was able to build a relationship with the Trumans was through the incentive trip. My very first incentive trip was in Jamaica. Jamaica was absolutely amazing. And that was where I was introduced to Boyd and Sandy and Gina and everybody at convention and leadership and stuff. But during those events, everything is very chaotic. And so you don't get a lot of one-on-one time with your upline during those events. The incentive trips and the co-impact sourcing trips, if you are able to go with your upline, which doTERRA now allows you to do, if you have a diamond upline, you can create your own co-impact sourcing trip, which if we can get enough rock stars to do, that is my goal. I want to be able to do that with as many rock stars that want to go. It's nice being drawn for the lottery, but I'd actually rather go with my team and people that I know and Crossline and my doTERRA family and experience that together. These are all amazing trips. And Joanna will touch a little bit more on the Choice Humanitarian and the Healing Hands, and they do the co-impact sourcing stuff. But the diamond retreat is for diamonds and above, obviously. So going and mingling with your upline and your diamonds is, I don't know, it's just different. When you're in a small, intimate setting with your upline during the diamond retreat or during the incentive trips, it's just different. Like when we went to Mexico, this last incentive trip, we were able to sit down with Boyd and Sandy for dinner for hours, and we just had dinner with them, and we were able to sit and talk. And I was lucky enough to be able to have a few of the couple of the people that were there that are on my team there with us that never really had that interaction with Boyd and Sandy. And it's, never feel like they are too far out of reach. Your upline is there for a reason. It doesn't matter what rank they are. It doesn't matter how far down you are. Like, we have mentored people that are 15, 16, 17 levels down on us because that's our joy. That's what we enjoy. We enjoy watching people grow and just kind of, I want to say the climb. That's the only thing that's coming to mind. But it's literally the climb. Like, you're climbing the ranks and you're climbing through life, and your obstacles that you have to climb over to get to the next level, to get out of your comfort zone, to be able to talk to that person that is maybe next door that you have never talked to in your life, and you never thought you would ever talk to that neighbor or that person standing next to you while you wait for your kids at school, or the person in the grocery line, or whoever it may be, or reaching out to someone blindly on Facebook and just say, hey, I see that you're going through this. I'm here. I have a solution. Jen was talking about it a little bit about it last night during her call, and watching her lives and watching some of the upline is just a true inspiration for me and really pushes me out of my comfort zone. And you just learn. Always. You always learn something every day. If you are constantly looking and talking, you are learning something every day, which means you have something to share every single day. Yeah, I'll stop there before I start crying. Yeah, just know that your upline is most uplines will never tell you no. And if they do, go to the next one and just keep going until you find someone that will say yes. But we have built a community in Rockstars where majority of your upline will never tell you no. And if they don't have the answer for you, they will find it for you, or they will help you find it. And they will help you succeed. That is, I've watched my mom build this team and help everybody on this team. I enrolled a day after she did. And I was just talking to her right before this call, and it was funny because she wanted me to enroll the same day that she did. And I was like, nope, I've got to talk to Kevin because he was out of town. He was working at the time. And I was like, I've got to talk to him first before I do any of this. And she's like, I honestly didn't think you were going to. She's like, I know that you always say that you will do anything for me and you would help me, but I honestly didn't think you would do it. I just prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And I made that call the very next day and said, okay, let's go. Let's do this. Tell me what I need to do. And I've watched her build this community. And I've talked to other teams outside of the Rockstars and even other Truman lines that strive for what the Rockstars have. So if you feel like you're alone, don't. You have someone that will always help you. Always. And if you don't feel that, I'm here. My mom's here. Boyd and Sandy will always help. Burke and Natalie. There are uplines, and yes, they may not get back to you right away, but you always have people that will help no matter what. So please, never feel alone and never feel like you are doing this alone, because you're not. Okay.
Well, that was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, no, everything you say is so true. I've been doing this, well, I enrolled 6 years ago, but I really wanted nothing to do with the pyramid scheme for an entire year, right? How many of you guys were like that? I want nothing to do with the Kool-Aid that you guys are drinking. I just want my oils, that's it. But when I decided I was going to do the business, I was automatically drawn to Romy. And I remember messaging her and being like, hi, you don't know me, but I want to be a diamond like you. So can you teach me? And she totally took me under her wing. Like, she had no idea who I was. I'm probably down way below her 7 levels, and she still took me under. And same thing with Natalie. And LaTaryn and Kevin have been an amazing support too. So Karina, everybody. So we're very lucky with that. And I think that really actually leads me into what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, which is the mission of doTERRA and our founders. So I'm going to talk to you about a few things. Healing Hands Foundation as a whole, co-impact sourcing, and the choice humanitarian things. And then Jen is going to finish off by talking specifically about the fundraiser we're doing and why it's so close to our hearts. So what I learned about Healing Hands Foundation and why I think it's important for for all of us to really have an in-depth understanding of exactly why it's so amazing, why we should all be donating, even if it's just $1 every month with our LRP, exactly, where that money is going and how it's being distributed and which people it's impacting. So Healing Hands started in 2011, I think it was officially established, but long before it was an official, nonprofit organization, the founders were always giving back. They built this company, they built doTERRA with the intention of always serving others and giving back to the communities and helping people with self-reliance. So even when they had no money, even when they weren't getting, paychecks themselves, they were still paying it forward to other people. So that's kind of where, the Healing Hands goes back to the roots. So what's really cool about it and what makes it different than other organizations is that 100% of what we give you guys goes directly to the people. So there's no money going to like administrators or overhead fees, like none of that. It's literally going to the people. So the doTERRA Foundation pays for all that overhead stuff, so not the Healing Hands. So a lot of, you know, places where you donate, if you really look at where that money is going, very little of that money goes to the actual people, because it's being, you know, you're paying out everybody else. And once you pay everybody else out and all the overhead, there's very little that actually is left. So I absolutely love that. And the other thing that I love about the Healing Hands Foundation is it's not just like a handout. So they really partner with people who are focused on giving other people like self-reliance and being able to sustain themselves long term. So it's not just like, here, we'll give you this money, and then they have, you know, once that money runs dry, they have nowhere else to turn. So they're really helping these communities to, you know, create jobs and have sustainable incomes for themselves, and education and educating people, which, you know, education is huge, especially since most of the people we partner with are in rural villages where they literally live on less than $2 a day. You guys, $2 a day. How crazy is that? Can you even imagine the poverty? They don't have clean water. They don't have good shelter. LaTaryn went to Guatemala. Lynn, who is my direct upline, she went to Nepal, and like the stories they came back with, it's like heart-wrenching, you know, when you really hear about the poverty, that the extreme poverty that these people are living in. So Healing Hands Foundation, just last year alone, they created 10 clean water projects, 6 new hospitals and clinics, and a lot of these hospitals and clinics are floating clinics, because these people can't even get to a hospital because they're so rural and they don't have transportation. They have to travel for days on like a donkey to even get to medical, you know, to get medical help. So the fact that these are clinics that can actually go to them and provide them with the necessary medical care that they need is amazing. And 9 new schools. And one of the schools is in Nepal, and it's a earthquake resistant school, because I'm sure you guys all know about the earthquake that literally devastated Nepal in 2015. So it's really important that the rebuilding is not just rebuilding, but actually making something, again, in the theme of what Healing Hands Foundation is all about, sustainable. So it'll actually withstand if another earthquake was to happen or another natural disaster was to happen. That school now with those 8 classrooms is foundationally safe and sound to withstand that. Okay, so Healing Hands also partners with a lot of different organizations, and one of them is Choice Humanitarian. So again, they work in countries such as Bolivia, Ecuador, Guatemala, Kenya, Mexico, Nepal, Peru. And that's who we go to on the trips, like LaTaryn and Lynn went on. So all of those co-impact sourcing trips are through Choice Humanitarian. And again, everything that gets paid that you pay for these trips goes just for that trip. Like, it's not, again, to these administrators and, you know, cool gear or whatever else. Like, it's just for those people that you're going to be going and working with. One of the cool things that Choice Humanitarian is doing in Guatemala is they are building drying facilities for the cardamom seeds. Are they seeds? Pods? Seeds. Okay. Because the cardamom actually has like a 3-day shelf life. So what these people were doing before was they would harvest the cardamom, but then they'd have to travel to these drying facilities. So they're building them drying facilities that they can actually use right then and there without having to travel like a long distance to be able to perform their jobs. So that's really cool. And another really awesome thing is that Choice Humanitarian just awarded doTERRA with the 2019 Corporate Impact Award. So that is huge, because they get, you know, a lot of sponsors, a lot of people who they partner with and who support them, and they chose us as the recipient of this really, you know, awesome award. So love that. And then the other projects that I wanted to mention that Healing Hands and Choice, and our Healing Hands Foundation supports, there's Days for Girls, which I don't know, I have like a really special place in my heart for this because I just can't imagine the horror of what these women go through. So if you're not familiar with Days for Girls, basically in a lot of poor, impoverished countries, girls are like ashamed. They're shamed and they're being literally like banished from their communities every time that they have their cycle. So they're using things like leaves, mattress stuffing, newspapers, corn husks, things like that. They have absolutely zero access to any feminine hygiene products. And when they were getting like one-time use stuff for the like feminine hygiene products, a lot of times they were forced to perform like sexual favors for the men who are in charge of their orphanages or their schools or whatever else. They had no way to dispose of these, so they would literally just be littering the entire school and just making it really unsafe. But what was really appalling to me was that when these women were menstruating, they were sent into these shacks. So imagine you're in the desert and you have to go and squat in this shack that is probably, I don't know, well over 100 degrees, right? In Somaliland or wherever else. And you're just sitting there for however many days because you're considered unclean and you can't be part of the community. And a lot of women get really sick. This is not just women who are menstruating, but also after they give birth, they're still considered unclean. So now they gave birth and they can't be with their community. They're banished to this shack. And it's just really, really sad. And people actually get infections and die. So something that we take for granted as being able to take care of our bodies as women, a lot of these people don't have the access to. So we partnered with Days for Girls and they provide sanitation kits, basically feminine hygiene, like sanitation kits. So they get reusable, sustainable, again going with the theme, sustainable feminine hygiene products and a really cool sack that they can use and be discreet and carry it to school or put other stuff in it. And it was amazing because when we tried to beat the world record at convention last year, was it last year or 2 years ago? I don't know, I get my service projects mixed up. 2 years ago. So 2 years ago at convention, if anybody was there, we beat the world record for the most feminine hygiene kits assembled. It was crazy and it was so amazing. And it was just so beautiful seeing everybody coming and donating and bringing all the different things that is needed and sewing and just coming together to support these girls. And the other piece is educating them about their bodies and educating them about their cycle and fertility and all of that stuff. So they're really making lifelong impacts in these people's lives, in these villages, and hopefully, turning the tide and something that is just completely normal. So the other one is Mentors International. That's another partnership that we have. And what they do is they do micro lending. So they help people, again, who are in other parts of the world who don't have access to loans, or who, if they do get loans, they have like really unethical and they get swindled. And so they work with like unethical lenders and stuff. So they end up borrowing money, but having to maybe repay it with crazy interest or who knows what else. So doTERRA partners with Mentors International to help them give people who are entrepreneurs and hardworking people these microloans so they can actually go and thrive and be successful and then be able to support their communities that way. So it's really about, supporting those communities, sustainability, education, and just giving people that hand up. And the other one is the co-impact sourcing. So co-impact sourcing, we all know about how we're helping people who we get our materials from to create the oils. So this is super important because a lot of times what happens in this industry is these growers and these farmers are getting basically like, they're being paid nothing for their work. They're being paid nothing for their products, and they end up having to cut corners because, for example, if a plant is only harvested for a certain amount of time, or it's supposed to grow for 12 weeks, but you can get it at 8 weeks, but you're not going to get as good of an oil if you get it as 8 weeks as you do at 12, but you have to produce to make more money. They're going to be doing that, and it's going to create a less, not as good of a product. So doTERRA pays our farmers above a fair market value, which is amazing. And whenever people ask me about the money piece, like, oh, well, why are the oils so expensive? I talk about that. I talk about how, because we pay our farmers for their hard work, and we don't try to just screw them over, and try to get the best price or whatever. Like, we're actually helping them have a chance at a living wage and create a better life for themselves and their families. So I love everything that we do. We have all these different projects, like the Kenya Clean Water Project in Kenya. There's Bulgaria has a bunch of different ones. There's like the Milk Can, it's called, and it's providing warm meals to families. So there are just so many different projects in all these different countries that we are directly impacting these people. And the last one is the Underground Railroad. So I'm going to let Jen talk about that, because that is what we are fundraising for with Gina, and she will talk more about that. Take it away, Jen.
You guys, can I just say, every time someone jumps off and jumps on, my eyeballs go like this on the screen and keeping track of who's talking. I'm like, whoa. Thanks, Joanna. That was great. So I get to talk about Operation Underground Railroad tonight, and so where I want to start is that we are going to the Diamond Retreat, like Kenzie said, like the Diamond Retreat, and Gina Truman put this on, so it's our first one. We don't know what to expect, but from what we've heard, this is a fantastic event that she goes all out to spoil the diamonds on this team. So what she has presented to us was she challenged us. She was like, challenge, guys. And we said, okay. So she challenged us to raise our own donations to bring to her at this retreat. We're getting a super special guest at this retreat. We actually get to meet Tim Ballard himself. Tim Ballard is the CEO, the founder of Operation Underground Railroad. I probably will freak him out because I probably will hug him. So I'm just saying, I'm just probably going in for the hug. He is an unbelievable human being, and I'm going to share a story with you guys, particularly one of the documentaries that he had done a few years ago. So she challenged us. She said she wants to present to him a check, a donation, from her team, from the diamond, from everyone in her downline, us diamonds coming together and collecting donations, and she's matching that, you guys. She's matching that donation. So she challenged us, I would love to see you guys go out and see what you can do for donations with your teams, because in my heart, I really want to present this to Tim at the retreat. So we're very fortunate to have him there as a speaker, get to meet him, and I feel really, I know we all will feel really honored to be in the same space with him. So this is what we're doing. We're collecting donations to bring and present to Gina at the Diamond Retreat, and so she will match those funds. So there's a couple of options as far as donating for Operation Underground Railroad. I believe you can do the donation through when you're checking out when you're checking out on your orders, but also the Hope Roller. Does that go for the Healing Hands or Operation Underground Railroad, right?
No, those all go for Healing Hands. So the Rose, the Hope Oil, and everything just goes to Healing Hands, and then they distribute it to wherever it's needed. So like Operation Underground Railroad, Mentors International, Co-Impact Sourcing. So it's that's kind of like the umbrella where all the money goes, and then we have all these different kind of pockets where we distribute it.
So that's one way of donating, but this is super special, you guys. This is a super special way that we can bring this donation to Gina and present to her, for her to match to present to Tim. So I know I'm really excited. So if you guys don't know what Operation Underground Railroad is, it's one of the partnerships that Healing Hands has, and this is to stop sex trafficking in children, and this is just to give you guys an idea, did this post, this is a $35 billion industry. That is a sickening amount of money that children, are being trafficked. And the problem is here in the U.S. just as much as it is outside the U.S. The #1 states right now for this is California, Texas, and Ohio. And these are missing children. These are children taken from, loving families. These are children taken to outside of the country, and then the children from other countries are brought into this country. It is disguised as orphanages outside of this country, and it is an industry that it's thriving and just needs to stop. It needs to be stopped, and this is what Tim Ballard had founded Operation Underground Railroad in 2013. So what it is these are ex-CIA agents. These are ex-Navy SEALs. These are some bad mamma jammas. These guys are no joke, and they go. This is what these guys have to do. So a quick story I want to share with you. In Atlanta, Joanna and I got to meet an amazing gentleman, and I don't remember his name. Because it was so fast. Everything happened so fast. So we had sat down to film something, and so this gentleman, we got to talking with him, and he started to tell us that he actually went undercover in one of Tim Ballard's first documentaries, and he had to go through extensive training. So he was a production assistant, so he basically was going undercover to film, and he said he had to go under extensive training, you guys, to learn how to be one of these disgusting souls. Like he said, we asked him, like, what kind of the work afterwards to process what you had to experience and what you had seen, because he said the things he had seen, and this gentleman had to leave his family. He has a wife and children. He had to leave his family for quite a few months. I think it was a 3 or 4 month operation, maybe longer. Was it 3 or 4 months? He had to leave his family. He had to train to be one of these horrible people. He had to go in and he had to say and see things that he's like, I could never unsee that. And that was with Tim Ballard. But he had shared from his heart saying that his soul was so full for when he was able to see go down, because they took down that sex trafficking ring particularly. And so when you get to see someone in the real and the raw and hear their story and what they had witnessed, and he could only share obviously so much information with us, but he gave us the basics. And what he shared was just this is something that is a huge cause that we can help, that we can donate to, that we can be a part of just by our donations. So it's Operation Underground Railroad. If you guys don't know what it is, if you can go onto their website, it's an OUR, OURrescue.org. The other thing I wanted to share is that, so there's another documentary that came out, and I got to meet Gina Truman and Boyd and Sandy in California last year. It was an incentive trip last year, and Gina had shared with us then she had donated her own funds to fund the newer documentary that just came out. So she's, her heart is so near and dear with Tim Ballard and his cause. So the newest one that's out, it's called The Abolitionist. It's free with Amazon Prime. I highly encourage you to watch that documentary, and it will change your thoughts and your perspective on this forever. Bring tissues, because it's gut-wrenching. It's a gut-wrenching documentary to watch. But what they do, OUR, is so what we do, what the funds do for this program is it helps to infiltrate these sex trafficking rings, and the aftercare. You guys, these children afterwards, some of these children, the aftercare for a child after being exploited in an industry like this, is unbelievable. And so the aftercare is what sets them up for success. You can actually follow them on Facebook as well. I have them, they're like first in my feed every morning. And you can see the success stories with them. So to date, OUR has saved over 2,000 children. And just to give you an idea, the statistics here in the US in 2018 was 5,147 human trafficking cases reported, and that was here in the US. That doesn't include outside of this country. And those are the ones that people know of. I mean, there's cases of people being trafficked, how's that word go? That, you know, they don't even know have gone, you know, missing. So, so their mission, their motto, this one is, I read this and it was, you know, it's so, it kind of, you can feel the truth coming through this, and you can feel the emotion behind this, you know, and so their message, okay, is to the children who we pray for daily, we say, your long night is coming to an end. Hold on, we are on our way. And to those captors and perpetrators, even you monsters who dare offend God's precious children, we declare to you, be afraid, we are coming for you. To those who have read this far, we plead with you to donate to our cause. Donate because we can't do this without you. And, you know, that's their mission, you guys. And so we feel, probably speaking for all of us that are going to be there to meet him, I will feel so honored to be in the same space with him. So I'm really excited. And so our goal is $1,000 to present to Gina, and I believe we're a little over halfway, right? Oh, we're over.
We're over.
Holla. Yes. So I mean, we have another week to continue to collect donations so we can present this to her. So we ask for you guys to help reach out to your teams, and you can, LaTaryn, myself, Joanna, either one of our links to donate. And we're just really excited to bring this to Gina. So really excited. This is our first year. Really, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to actually get to shake hands with him and, you know, listen to him speak. So.
One of the things that really got me, Jen, when we were talking to the producer was, I get like so choked up talking about this stuff. Because last year, I remembered last year, LaTaryn, was the year that we did the backpacks for the kids who were rescued from, you know, these sex trafficking rings. And it was just like, you know, we made pillows for them that we hand decorated, and we put like stuffed animals, because these are children, you guys. These are like 10, 11, 12-year-old children who are literally used for sex, like with people who come and pay. Oh my, it's just like, I can't take it. But anyway, so Tim Ballard adopted two of the kids that he rescued in that mission that this producer went with him underground. So he adopted them, and now he has these two beautiful children. So he's just amazing. Yeah, it's going to be really great to meet him.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of tears, you guys. Lots of tears.
So many.
Yeah, I agree. So the Hope Oil I believe it was the Hope Oil that they introduced 2 years ago, was it? 3 years ago?
I don't even know what I had for breakfast this morning. I can't remember.
Okay, so when they first introduced the Hope Oil, the Hope Oil was introduced as the oil that was going to be given out to the kids in the sex trafficking homes or orphanages. And they have special roller bottles made for these places. So when they peel back the label, when they're ready to get out of that place, there's a number for them to call. And there's someone for them to contact. So buying the Hope Oil helps directly for OUR.
That's awesome.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Me either. Learned something really cool tonight. That was amazing.
And something that I forgot to mention when I was rambling on, Gina is going to match everything, all of the donations up to $25,000.
Wow.
So she has an amazing heart for all of this stuff.
Mhm.
And it's going to be amazing.
How many diamonds will be there, roughly? I think they said when we sat with Boyd and Sandy, they said maybe 100.
I think we're looking at 200 right now.
So if each
And it's diamonds and above.
that's true, diamonds and above, yeah. So if every, diamond was able to bring even $200-$300 from their team, imagine the impact that would have, because it's being doubled, so that's amazing.
It's going to be awesome. And that's why I said no donation is too small.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if you can only afford $1. That's $1 that goes towards helping those children get out and the aftercare. And the aftercare is ultimately, to me, I think the most important, because the trauma of everything that they went through, I mean, there's so many traumas and stuff that we struggle with on a day-to-day basis. I can't even imagine the struggles that they have to go through just to wake up in the morning and survive. And the part of those funds go towards their aftercare.
And some of those children are having children.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
This is an important cause.
Yep. And that's a lot of them, to me, are just like babies. They're not much old.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't much older than my youngest at 6. It's awful. And there's 14 and 15-year-olds having babies and 12-year-olds having babies. That's awful. And they have to live with that the rest of their lives.
These guys have a special kind of heart too, because so the abolitionist, just so you guys know too, Tony Robbins he stars in The Abolitionist. He went undercover with Tim Ballard. And if you I have the link of Tony Robbins has something on YouTube where he did an interview, and you see him, this big guy. If anybody watches Tony Robbins, this is a big guy, okay? And he's up on stage, and the fire from him when he is lit is an incredible source of energy. To watch this giant man break down in tears on this YouTube interview to describe what he had experienced, it will bring you to your knees. It will bring you to your knees. And what these guys have to train for to go in and prepare for what they're about to see and what they're about to do is something that they have some really special hearts, but they're in it forever. They're in it forever just to save as many kids as they can. And they're doing it.
So Jen, did you see that interview with Tony where Tony funds one of the rehab places all by himself?
So there's a part with Tony Robbins, and he said he did it at one of his seminars. He goes, how he got introduced to OUR was a woman stood up. He had asked the question in one of his seminars, and he said, talking about abundance mindset, and what would you do with the money if you could give back? And a woman stood up and she said, there's a program that's near and dear to my heart, and she said it's OUR. And that is how Tony Robbins found out about OUR. So as she stood up in the crowd, he goes, how much are we going to donate? How much are we going to do? And Tony Robbins, I believe, at that exact seminar raised $100,000 at that seminar. Everyone stood up and they donated to this cause, and he lit this crowd. And so from that point on, he needed to find out what OUR was all about. And that's when he got in contact with Tim Ballard, and wow, now he's just, it's incredible. So he funds a lot of, a lot of their missions and aftercare, like you said, an aftercare program. So it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, he took over the orphanage or the aftercare where Tim Ballard's children were waiting to be adopted.
It's
It was
incredible.
Yeah.
You know, the sad part is that too, is that it's all sad, the whole thing. I mean, this is the incredible piece, but these places overseas are presented as orphanages. You know, there's so much, and then, police are paid off, and, political people are paid off. You know, these guys, so from my understanding of watching, so Tim Ballard got enough of having to go through the chains. So he said, I'm going to take it into my own hands. And that's what he did, because it was cutting through that red tape. Everyone was paid off, and he weren't getting anywhere. They had one huge sex trafficking ring. I believe it was Haiti, and everyone was released. They arrested all of these people, and they were all released because officials were paid off. So he's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm taking it into my own hands. And that's what they do. It's a very dangerous situation. The guy that we talked to, he said there's at any point going in, you don't know if the cops or the high political officials or whoever's involved, like, you don't know what's going to happen. There is no protection. The U.S. here, we're protected. We have the protection. You step outside this country, there's no more. These guys are taking their own lives in their hands to go save these children. So, like LaTaryn said, no donation is too small. Every dollar counts to help these children. So,
Sure.
Hey, I know I jumped on a little bit late, but can you guys tell us one more time? Like, I know that we can donate just directly through our LRP orders or whatever, but how do we donate to you guys for you to take that money to Gina?
So I just posted the 3 links, so any one of them is fine. We're just pulling it all together. So once we get, what we have on the 15th is the last day, then we will give one check to Gina, and she will double it. So if you, just donate through your LRP or directly to OAR, that won't be doubled. Whereas if you donate it this way and we bring it to Gina, it's going to be doubled. So definitely go to one of the 3 links and do it that way.
Okay, and remind me how much you guys need to get to 1,000?
We're over 500 now.
Okay, Mike and I'll take care of the rest.
What?
Whoa.
To get to 1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So make your goal 2,000 and let everybody else step up a little bit, okay?
I'm gonna cry.
I know. Oh my gosh. It's like leadership.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Amanda and Mike.
It's like our mini gold level leadership pool.
Aww.
We wish we could do more, but that's what we can do for now. Okay?
That's a ton.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. Oh my God, I'm like a ball in my throat right now.
I know, I'm like speechless. That never happens.
Thank you so much. This is incredible.
We're gonna tell Gina this happened on our call.
Yes.
She's gonna be like, oh.
I feel like we're at a Tony Robbins retreat. This is the best.
I know. It is.
Thank you guys so much. That was incredible. That's so incredible, so generous. And this is, you guys, it is such an incredible cause, and I really, if you guys have not seen The Abolitionist, I encourage you to go watch it. It's an hour and 20 minutes, and you can get a real feel of what these guys do.
You guys, we forgot to mention the prizes for anybody who donates.
Oh. Yeah.
So LaTaryn, Jen, and I all dug into our stashes of things you cannot no longer get from doTERRA, like swag stuff and different oils, and we are doing raffles. So 2 people already won last week once we reached 500, and we're going to be doing more. So I think we should do one at 1,000, which we got 2, and then when we get to 2,000, we should do another one, or 1,500 and then 2,000. So
yes,
whatever you donate, whether it's $1 or $1,000 or $1 million, whatever it is, you will get the opportunity to win some cool doTERRA swag.
For every $1 you donate, you get a ticket in the pot to go towards the prizes that are being raffled off that week.
Yep. Sorry, Jen, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, yeah, no, I totally.
Part before we were done.
So the other piece that I think is going to be really cool is this is going to be something we all can't wait to see you guys attend. We all can't wait to see you guys get to this retreat yourself and be you know, and we just in our hearts, you know, to be able to share this with you. We can't wait for you guys to be there. And you will all get there. You'll all get there, you know. So we're excited for you to watch your journey to get there too.
Let's make a goal for how many rock stars are going to be at the Diamond Retreat next year. Who's gonna
raise your hands?
Raise your hand and make a. What do you
Look
call
at Amanda's doing a dance.
Woo! You have every
She's raising the roof.
up on this
Dana,
call.
raise your hand, girl. Raise your hand.
Yeah.
Corinna's got it up. Everybody's got it up.
And, all right. And then next year we'll bring $25,000 to Gina. Ourselves, yep.
That would be incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to make sure you guys know, I'm going to put in the chat right now. This is my favorite text I get all month, but every time OUR does a kid rescue, they'll text you and let you know what's going on. So that's the number. You just text updates to 51555. And then every time they rescue a child, they text it out and share the story. And I think more than anything, you guys, like the dollar donation is great, 25, whatever you can do. But really, it's talking about this, right? It's making this conversation mainstream and being willing to share and let people know, hey, this is happening and it's happening right next door. So we need to be talking about it. Another idea, if you're in a position that you really want to donate, but maybe you're in a position where that's not in your budget this month, tap into your points. Use some points and put some oils out there. And even if you're selling those oils for wholesale, that's going to give you a little bit of cash. So maybe, you know, sell an On Guard to your school teacher, whatever. That's $32. So think of it, try to think of, you know, different ways that you might be able to source that to participate. Just an idea I had.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, that is a great idea.
It is. And, you know, the Days for Girls thing, like, that's such a taboo thing that we don't like to talk about, right? Like our periods and stuff. So just the fact that doTERRA is stepping up and bringing these, like you said, like these things that we don't talk about because they're uncomfortable. And, you know, it's not like dinner conversation necessarily, but it's true. Like, we have to just be brave. And like, just like we're trailblazing and revolutionizing healthcare in this country, we have to be the pillars of hope for these people and just getting the word out there.
I wanted to add something about the co-impact sourcing. So Joanna talked about the dollar amount that you know, some people get paid and they have to live on. So when we were in Guatemala, we got to go experience, and so whoever was on the call, I think you've probably already heard this because we kind of touched on it a little bit in our Guatemala call. So we were the first group to experience the entire cardamom process: the planting, the picking, the drying, the buying and selling of cardamom, and then the distilling of the cardamom to get the oil itself. But I'm not sure if we actually shared during that call what actually went down during the buying and selling process in Guatemala. So the roads, it had rained and the roads were muddy, and we were there buying and selling as doTERRA. And doTERRA is very fair, and so Choice Humanitarian and the farmers all know that doTERRA is loyal to their word. And if they say they are going to pay a certain amount, that is what they are going to pay. And so there were at least 2 other buyers that were there that were offering higher prices for the cardamom. One of them blocked the entire road so nobody could get by with their vehicle, with their truck. And none of the people were going to that buyer because they get hustled. And there was a few that went to this other buyer, but majority of the people stayed and waited until they could get their cardamom weighed and get on the books for the doTERRA and get their product bought for get it all from doTERRA. So I mean, and the cardamom oil is fairly new to doTERRA. It's only what, few years old, 3 years old, 4. I don't even know how old cardamom oil. 3 years old. So doTERRA has been doing this at the most 4 years with Guatemala, working with these farmers. So they have established a reputation with these farmers, and that's how it is in every country, not just Guatemala. It's like that with all of their co-impact sourcing with all of the farmers, sorry, I can't talk, that they do. So it's just that there just showed me, you know, how amazing doTERRA as a whole and is, you know, because these people waited for hours in the dark. Like, it wasn't light. We were on a road where it dropped straight off. So it's not like it was like all warm and fuzzies. It was not. The roads were muddy and slippery, and it was kind of dangerous. Like, they were like, you guys all need to stay in the truck. You should probably not get out, you know? And and there are a lot of other countries that are the same way, but people wait for that. They wait for doTERRAs to come, and because they know they're not going to get swindled. doTERRA is true to their word, and they're going to get what doTERRA says they're going to pay them. So.
Thank you. Guys, I'm excited. I'm just getting a post up right now on Rockstars. Please take the post. Please download the post. Please create your own post. Please help share this message. I'm a huge advocate of OUR. You can go to their website, Operation Underground Railroad, and become a team member in your area. So just this last month, Tim Ballard came up to my town in Brigham and did a governor dinner with the Republican Party, and I was able to go and sell the swag there as a volunteer. Wow, just to be in the same space with these people is incredible. Like, you just can just feel, kind of like Jen was saying, like this heart, this shield, this protection, this fight, this cause, and just how humbled his whole team is. Like, there was like 3 people there, like his main staff, right? Most of them are all volunteer, and you just wouldn't even know that these people see what they see or do what they do. They're so humble, and it amazes me what they're doing in our community. So I'm going to get this post up for you guys to share with the links Joanna put in the comments. Amanda, thank you so much for your generous donation tonight. That was incredible. I'm excited to see how this goes. And I'm excited for you guys to hear, like, those of you going to the retreat, we would love for you to go live and share your experience of giving the donation and what it was like. And, you know, because number one, we know the Rockstars are showing up in a way that our competitive side is, right? Like, we're showing up for this event. So I'm excited to hear how it goes and to hear about your experience with Tim and his team. I'll get this recording up for you guys to share right away. Thank you so much for being on the call with us tonight. Jennifer and Joanna, I hear you're going to be in my neck of the woods here pretty soon. That's exciting. Anybody else have anything? I'm going to shut the recording off and do a giveaway. So.